A very good morning to everyone. Today we'll talk about biomolecules. We'll talk about biomolecules. As you know that today's learning objective would be I will explain you the characteristics of biomolecules like carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acids and hormones. As you know very well, this living organisms or living systems are made up of these molecules only: carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acid, lipids, etc. Right? But the essential constituent of our food are proteins and carbohydrates. Proteins and carbohydrates. Now, this word, carbohydrates, from where does it come? It is primarily produced by plants. It is primarily produced by plants, and it forms a very large group of naturally occurring organic compounds. Naturally occurring organic compounds. So if it is naturally occurring, then that's why the term organic is coming. So that's why these days we say that if we are not using any kind of pesticide or any kind of fertilizer, though it is organic food, right? So now the next one is, what are the examples of the carbohydrates? Where do you find the carbohydrates? You commonly found them or in cane sugar, which you know very well. Cane sugar, right? Glucose and starch. Glucose is the reserve food material in living organisms, and starch, which you find as a reserve food material in plants, right? So we can say that the general formula of carbohydrates is CH2OY, and that's why it is called hydrate. It is called hydrate. Now, if it is hydrate, that's why the term has come carbohydrate. Now, glucose. What is the general formula of glucose, which you know very well? That is C6H12O6. C6H12O6. If it is 6, Y is 6 and X is also 6. So what is the formula? C6H6 to the 12 and O6. So this is very important. Just put a star on it. So the general formula of the glucose is C6H12O6, right? So from me, if you have to explain chemically, what are carbohydrates? Then carbohydrates, they are optically active. They are optically active, which is very important word, right? You need to write in definition, they are optically active polyhydroxy. Polyhydroxy. Aldehydes or ketones. Aldehydes or ketones. Or you can say that the compounds which produce such units on hydrolysis. You know what is hydrolysis? The release of the water. So I repeat again, what is the chemical definition of carbohydrates? They are defined as the optically active polyhydroxy aldehydes or ketones. Polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones, or the compounds which produces such units on hydrolysis. So if you taste carbohydrates, they are sweet in taste. They are sweet in taste, right? They are sweet in taste. That's why they are called sugars. What do we call them? Sugars. So I hope this thing is clear to everyone, that this proteins and the carbohydrates which comes under biomolecules, they are carbohydrates specially produced by the plants. If they are produced by the plant, they are organic compounds. Example is cane sugar, glucose, starch. They have the general formula CnH2nOn or CXH2O whole bracket close Y, and the glucose is having the general formula C6H12O6. Chemically, if you have to explain what is glucose or what is carbohydrate, they are chemically or they are optically active. They are optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones or the compounds which produce such units on hydrolysis. They are generally sweet in taste, that's why we call them sugars. And that the most common sugar which are used in our homes, you know what is the name of that? Yeah, that is sucrose. What is the name of it? That is sucrose. That is generally we use that we call sugar, that is called sucrose, right? And in milk, it comes in the exam also. What kind of carbohydrate do you find in milk? That is called lactose. That is called lactose, right? And the another name which is given to glucose, they are called saccharides. They are called saccharides. They are called saccharides, right? So on the basis of hydrolysis, which I have already talked to you, on the basis of hydrolysis, on the basis of hydrolysis. Hydrolysis means release of water. The carbohydrate is divided into three categories. They are divided into three categories. The very first one is monosaccharide. Monosaccharide. Another one which is divided, that is oligosaccharide. Oligosaccharide. And the third one which is very, very important, that is polysaccharide. So we have divided on the basis of hydrolysis, the carbohydrates are divided into, first one is monosaccharide, another one is oligosaccharide, and the third one is polysaccharide. Now, the question comes, what are monosaccharides? The carbohydrates that cannot be hydrolyzed further to give simple unit of hydroxy or polyhydroxy ketone or aldehyde. Means it cannot be hydrolyzed further into aldehydes or ketones, right? And till now 20 monosaccharide units, or you can say that 20 monosaccharides are known to occur in nature. 20 monosaccharides units or monosaccharides are known to the nature, and the very common example of monosaccharide is glucose, fructose, and ribose. These three, right? Glucose, fructose, and ribose. These three. Oligosaccharide. Now the question second one is oligosaccharide. That yield 2 to 10. 2 to 10. 2 to 10 monosaccharide units. Monosaccharide unit. It means if I have 2 to 10, if I have 2 to 10 monosaccharides, then it will become oligosaccharide, right? They are further classified into disaccharides, trisaccharide, tetrasaccharide. Means it depends. If they have two carbohydrates, then you can say then you can say di. If it is 3, then it is tri. If it is 4, then it is called tetra. So like the thing is, if it goes like 1, 2, 3, then accordingly we will classify them depending upon the number of monosaccharides they produce or they provide on hydrolysis. Now the third one is the polysaccharide. Polysaccharide is the one which yield a large number of monosaccharide units. Polysaccharide is the one which produces a large number of monosaccharide units on hydrolysis. On hydrolysis, a very good example in this is given as starch, which is reserve food material in plants, and cellulose. Another one is glycogen. And another one is also which is found in the plant, that is called gums, right? Polysaccharide is the one which is not at all good in taste, which is not at all sweet in taste. That's why they are called non-sugars. What do we call them? Non-sugars. So in this way, we have come to know that the saccharides or the carbohydrates on the basis of hydrolysis, they are classified into monosaccharide, oligosaccharide, and polysaccharide. Monosaccharide units, till now 20 monoramic or monosaccharide units are known, and the common example is glucose, fructose, and ribose. If we have 2 to 10 monosaccharide units, then it is called oligosaccharide, right? Then it is called oligosaccharide, right? And always remember, when maltose on hydrolysis gives two molecules of only one glucose, right? So the another one is polysaccharide. The polysaccharide, as you know very well, they are the large number of monosaccharide units on hydrolysis, right? They produce polysaccharides. And the common example which I have given, starch, cellulose, glycogen, gums. Polysaccharide is not sweet in taste, that's why they are called non-sugars. It comes in the exam also. So kindly note it down in your notebooks.